Hi folks, it's Switchback. Let's talk about how to keep medication cool while backpacking and also about SHARPS containers for backpacking. I'd like to start with a few general safety tips. First, always discuss any med handling with your pharmacist before taking something new out on the trail. Be sure to read any labels and instructions that are specific to your medications. You may want to discuss a few options with your primary healthcare provider or whoever's handling your medications about ways to reduce your SHARPS and reduce your waste. If an insulin pen might be reasonable, although be careful because they can break. If continuous glucose monitoring is right, an insulin pump, items like that. Given the sometimes strenuous nature of backpacking, you may want to discuss any dosage changes with your healthcare provider. Always discuss your health conditions with the people that you're hiking with or your group leader so that they know what to do if there is a medical emergency or even if you become unresponsive. If you don't already have one, consider wearing a medical alert bracelet or a road ID that can identify what your particular health conditions are. And please pack out any trash, including your test strips, which I have seen on the trail multiple times. So how to keep medications cool while backpacking. Most medications can be out of refrigeration for 14 to 28 days, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending on the medication, of course, and depending on the temperatures that you're going to be in. So they could feasibly be sent to you in a resupply box if you plan this properly. Even medications that aren't normally refrigerated will generally have a maximum temperature limit. And so being mindful of temperature is very important. Single-use packs are quite frankly prohibitive with backpacking because they don't last very long and they weigh a lot if you have to have enough for a trip. The best thing that I have seen online is the Frio bag. There's a variety of them, different sizes, even different colors and patterns and different styles for if you have insulin bottles or medication bottles, if you have syringes, that kind of thing. They won't necessarily keep things at refrigerator temp, but they will keep things cooler and down below, like around room temperature, which is where most medications are okay for at least a period of time. And it says that the activation is about 2 to 5 days with a minimum of 45 hours. To activate these, you simply put them in water. It can take up to 20 minutes, so maybe even longer, for it to completely activate. But most of us can find enough water to activate something like that in order to keep our medications safe. Now, to keep medications from freezing, I personally would handle it like I do my water filter, and I carry my water filter in my coat pocket when it's freezing outside. I'll wrap it up in something to insulate it, put it in there, and that would probably be a good idea for any medications that you don't want to have freeze. You can keep it in your sleeping bag or under your quilt at night, and you can use an insulator or food cozy in order to keep it safe as well. When it comes to SHARPS containers for backpacking, you're gonna need some kind of a puncture-resistant container. You're probably already familiar with this if you have injectable medications. Plastic water bottles and peanut butter or mayonnaise jars are too soft and flimsy and easily punctured for SHARPS. Any container being used for SHARPS needs to be puncture resistant, including the lid. It cannot be see-through. It needs to be able to stand on its own without falling over. It must be leak resistant or leak proof, and it should have a screw-on lid. Check the regulations for the disposal of SHARPS in a household container or in a SHARPS container, especially if you are doing a hike that goes through multiple states. The regulations can vary widely. There are also mail-back programs, usually with an actual SHARPS container. For lancets and other really small SHARPS, I've seen people talk about using a noon pack or using the container that your test strips come in. Be mindful that these don't have a screw-on lid, however. For syringes, there are a variety of small portable SHARPS containers out on the market, but you can use another small disposable container of similar thickness. So something like a small protein powder jar, a fabric softener bottle, or some other similar container. Now, if your particular health condition is diabetes and you want more strategies for how to manage it on the trail, I have this video right up here for you. I really appreciate you watching today. Thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.